This video is pre-recorded. Say, when I made this cute little Valentine's DIY with the Dollar Tree traffic cone, I realized that the Dollar Tree mop might be able to also be another item used to create a gnome with the Dollar Tree cone. However, I want it pink. I don't want it looking like a mop. I want it in pink. Because after all, this will be a DIY Valentine's Day gnome, and pink is the color. Previously, I had an idea for the mop head angel. I made these angels a couple years back and made the DIY video. But I don't want any small mop head angels. I decided I wanted some gnomes for the Valentine's. So, picked up some Rit petal pink dye, and what I'm going to do is boil this over my stove. Soak these two mop heads in the dyed water while it's hot till it cools. Go outside, dump it all out, and allow this to air dry and see what color I get, if I get any color at all. So this video is pre-recorded, and I want to dye the mop heads. The dye I'm using today is Petal Pink by Rit. However, it depends on how diluted you add the water. Okay, I'm using a small little saucepan, so it's going to probably be darker pink than what it appears on the bottle. In order for me to soak it and get it light like that color, I would have to use probably over a gallon of hot water. I am not going to place this in my wash machine to tie-dye or to dye two mop heads and some flowers. I'm going to just do it on a saucepan on the kitchen stove. But this is what I'm using. Picked this up at Walmart's. And I still have half a bottle. Okay, I'm going to bring an old saucepan that I had and boil the water first. Then I'm going to add the dye. Right now I'm waiting for it. Alright, there goes the red dye. And I think the first thing I'm going to dip, I want to color some of the silk flowers from Dollar Tree and see if it works. So let me go get those flowers. Be right back. Alright, going to see if it will work, because I can never find pink mums, the light pink mums at Dollar Tree. So what I did is grabbed a bunch of the white ones that I've had from the summer haul. And I'm going to see what happens here. Remember, this is scorching hot. And I'm just going to dip them all in for a second and let them sit for about a minute or so. I'm not sure if this will work. Art is about experimentation. This makes it to YouTube. All was a success. Anywho, it goes the first mop from the Dollar Tree. Alright, might as well make some room in here for it. And we'll allow this one just like what I just demonstrated, in and out of the pan. And the next one, I will leave in a little longer. Alright, they screw right off the pole. And we'll see what colors it turn out. And tomorrow, this is 6 o'clock in the evening, Michigan time. So, going to take these outside, wring them out. Oops, too much steam. Let me get back for a little bit. Take them outside and wring them out. There we go. We'll see what they look like the next day. This video is pre-recorded. Okay, that's it for 5, 6, 7 minutes. Place it in here. I'm going outside. This is Sunday, January 12th, 2019. Okay, this one I just swirled around. The flowers are going to have a light pink on it, it looks like. That's what I wanted. I don't know how light that's going to dry or how much deeper this one will dry. But this is steaming hot water, I said. I'm going to go outside. Well, I thought I was going outside, but I'm not. It's storming. So I'm rinsing out the red dye from the mops and the flowers in the kitchen sink. And then I'm just going to wring them really good and then set them over my floor registers overnight. Seeing as how my heat is on, you might as well use the heat to dry these up faster. And they're over registered, so they're not going to damage my carpet or dye my carpet or my linoleum in my kitchen. I'm just rinsing them through, gonna wring it, and we'll check them tomorrow. 6 o'clock at night on January 12th on a Sunday, 2020. Yeah, I'm fortunate to have a few registers that are on the floor, and seeing as how this is January and the heat's on and it's storming outside and it's cold. The silk flowers are drying in no time, and they're pretty colors. I couldn't just take them off, and now just spread out the mop and let it dry overnight. It'll probably be dried by midnight tonight. But I usually shut my heat down in the evenings as well, so, you know, why heat the house if you're under blankets and sleeping most of the night, so it does get shut down. And I bet you probably around 10 tonight, these will be dried. I see the color is different than this one. I would have loved it to start turning the lighter pink. However, I already have in my mind, if I don't like this color tomorrow, I might even string some loop-de-loop pink yarn through it as well to give it the pinky, the lighter pink color, to create that gnome color that I want. I'm looking forward to this, and then placing the mop over the Dollar Tree cone so that the Dollar Tree cone can stand the gnome upright. That's why I want to place it over the cone. I made a doll with the Dollar Tree traffic cone, and then I made the couple of the angels with the Dollar Tree traffic cone, and they just set upright right on the desk. They don't flip over, fall down. I've used a football for a gnome before, and it's still working. And I've used a bag of rice to create gnomes, but this time I want to use the traffic cone and this Dollar Tree mop. We'll see. And these are dried. Catch you on the flip side. Catch you tomorrow, folks. Hey Siri, what time is it?
It's 10:27 p.m.
Oh my gosh, these things dried up real quick over my registers. I want to start crafting now, but it's getting late. I need my beauty sleep. Look at the color. It turned out just what I wanted. But it looks like I'm going to either use a Nightmare Before Christmas for the hat, or a camouflage for the hat, and definitely a Paris for one of them. Because of course I have to make two. One for Miss Legacy and one for Miss Everly. Or I can keep one here, make one for my daughter, and because she likes the Nightmare Before Christmas. Well, we'll see. The fat quarters were from Walmart's. And I have some cones for the heads. And I also have a few foam balls for the nose. I had to pick the foam balls up from Walmart's tonight, and I had to pick up the cones from Walmart's because Dollar Tree's out of the cones. But if you can find the cones at Dollar Tree, keep this a Dollar Tree budget friendly, get them. Well, it's not too late for me to start on this project because I do have to glue, fabric tack glue a couple things, so I'll do that now tonight. Anywho, Miss Legacy seen me pick up these little baby carriages, and she's like, "Who's having a baby, Basha? What do you need them for?" I says, "I'm making gnome shoes out of them." She says, "How would you do that?" And when I got home, I had already made one. Showed her. Okay? This is my second one now. And what you do is, of course, you remove the handle. Easy. Remove the wheels. And save these wheels. These wheels are very cute for steampunk. If you decorate with mixed media art and need steampunk items to place on your canvases, you can save these. Okay? Anyways, you're going to need 2 packages if you're going to need a set. If you want one set of boots for one gnome and then a set for the other, so you're going to need 2 packages because only 3 come in a package. But anywho, this is going to be the gnome shoes, and that's what I'm going to do. And all I'm going to do is trim on sides. And it's very easy to trim this plastic because this plastic is flimsy. Just trim it down. Yep, trim these off, trim it down, glue this part. And we have a shoe. Wait for my fabric tack. I have to turn it upside down. I'm just about out. And I was at Walmart's today, and I did not pick up any more fabric tack. I completely forgot that I was running low. I was thinking hot glue, and I said, no, I'm not running low on hot glue, but I forgot all about the fabric tack. But yeah, it's trimmed down. Since these will be girl boot or girl gnomes, I'm thinking if I make a boy, I would paint these black, prime them with chalk paint, and then just place black acrylic apple barrel over them for a black boot. But since they're going to be girls, I might just leave them like this. Why paint them? But I do need to glue the carriage covers down. So, trying to see if I have enough fabric tack to do that. Who would think? that I make a shoe out of these. Now they have baby shoes there at Dollar Tree, but they're really, really tiny. And as you can tell, this is going over a Dollar Tree traffic cone. I'm going to need this about the size that these are. Now you can hot glue these, the plastic with hot glue. However, hot glue is made from plastic, and so when you hot glue two pieces of plastic together, eventually it will come apart. And I don't want these little guys to come apart, so I'm going to use fabric tack on them, if I have any. There we go, it's coming out now. Okay, so just going around the rim here to glue the toe area. Okay, there's one. This one I already glued when I showed Miss Legacy. Excuse me. Yeah, I showed her a couple of days ago. I said, you know, Basha's trying to figure out how to make shoes for the gnomes that's inexpensive and from Dollar Tree. And so here we go. If you don't like this idea, that's alright. I think it's going to be divine and turn out perfect. Though I've made a lot of shoes in my time. I've used pop bottles for shoes. I've used cement for shoes. Oh, you name it. Okay, so there's, I need one more, and I know I did buy 2 packages. Have to find it. And these come in blue. So, if you want to dye the mops blue and make a boy gnome, you can buy these carriages in blue and make the shoes blue. You know, make them for that boy gnome. Even a girl gnome can have blue shoes. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying if you wanted to be a little gender biased on it, they do make these in blue. Yeah. Who would have thought that a carriage, I see this and I see a shoe, a gnome boot. That's what I see. 30 years of crafting, you start seeing things differently. And like I said, save these little wheels. They are cute. I'm going to have 2 carriages left. So if I ever needed 2 more later on down the road, or if I need some baby carriages for something, you just never know who's going to get pregnant this year. And you have to create a rattle or some type of wreath. Excuse me, I'm having a hard time talking tonight. Okay. I trimmed the sides up. And I'm just going to use the fabric tack again, which I should have kept upside down. Oh, here it is. It's still in the... And I was thinking little bells at the tip. Depending on how this is all going to sit on when I get it together. I don't know. I don't know what it looks like yet. I've never made these before. You see my first one because I can't afford a prototype and then make them again just to show on the video. I come up with it in my head, and as I go along, this is what I do. If I make a mistake, I make a mistake. I don't consider it a mistake. I just consider art is freedom. Okay, I want to get those set with the glue. Alright, so you have the idea of it. That's why I'm allowing these to set tonight. The idea of this project is when this is covering the cone, these little shoesies stick out on the cone's platform or a little in front of it. I don't know, we'll see. I have one sticking out. I'll have them sticking out on each side, but I know they should be close together too, but this depends. But that was my idea. These would be shoes The cone's the base. The mop, of course, is the beard. And so on and so forth. You know. Why not? Kind of reminds me of Cousin It. Something for the future. A miniature Cousin It. Funny. That's what that's what it looks like to me right now. It's Cousin It. I don't know why. Anyhow, that's what I was thinking. You know, the shoes for the front. Of course, these will be wrapped with my cloth here. You can use a Dollar Tree pillowcase right here. Get rid of this orange and wrap it with some type of cloth. And then, of course, you have your cone for the head. You have some cloth to go around the cone. You have your feather duster for the brim of the hat. And then, last but not least, I'm going to have 2 foam balls for the nose, and we'll be painting them. Okay, so that's what my plan is for tomorrow. This is Sunday night. It's January 12th. These turned out okay. I still might add loop-de-loop yarn through it a little bit just to bring out a little bit of a lighter pink, and it'll match those, so we'll see. I might make one way, make one another way. Who knows? I want it whimsical, but yet the Valentine theme. I have some Valentine picks I can use. So I'm going to say goodnight for now, and then we'll see you tomorrow. Yay! Be sure to stay tuned at the end of the video, and we will go over a few of the items that I have made with the traffic cone for 2020. This DIY project, let's start. Remember, from Dollar Tree, pick up the carriages, the baby carriages in the baby section, the mop in the household section, the traffic cone in the toy section, the styrofoam cone foam in the craft section, a pick, your basics, cheap start to this cute gnome. Now, any material that you have at home. Do you have an old shirt? Do you have an old pillowcase? Do you have an old pair of jeans that your grandchildren don't wear any longer? Do you have an old robe that's all torn up and you can save a piece of the material? Any material you have at home, or when you're in the Dollar Tree, pick up a pillowcase, okay? Any material. So, let's get going. I also am going to use fabric tack, and I'm going to use hot glue. I will have the nose and I will have the shoes already painted so that this video can go a little faster. I did already demonstrate how to dye the mop, and that did take a few minutes out of the video. I try to keep the videos to 30 minutes or less. Now let's get going on this cute little Valentine's gnome. Alrighty, the very first idea. Give yourself some room. Okay, the Dollar Tree cone has 4 points at the bottom. I'm cutting off 2 of the points, and then I'm going to round the cone. I'm going to leave 2 of the points in the front. So figure out where your front and your back is and start cutting. They do cut okay with scissors. You basically want it to stop right here. So therefore, I'm going to start over here. This is the hardest part, is going over these ridges. Be careful when you're cutting this. You might need to wear eye protection, because there it popped and flew. Okay, if you didn't follow this line, just get this piece off and then come up to the front here. Curve it. The cone will stand upright and still provide the base for the shoes. Alright, that's probably going to be the toughest part of this DIY. You could use an utility knife, but to me it was just easier just to go around and cut it. Alright, so we have a point here that will survive and a point here that will survive. Now, I would like to go into this area and cut it to make a triangle and make this corner and this corner protrude out a little longer. But for now, let's leave it like this, okay? So, this is what we have done so far. Now to go find some material to cover this cone. Any material you like. Okay, I stated earlier that I picked up this fat quarter for 97 cents at Walmart's, and it has Sally and Jack on it. Nightmare Before Christmas. This is my daughter's favorite characters, and her house does have a lot of the memorabilia from the movie, and I'm going to make the hat with Jack and Sally in the front, the Valentine couple. Okay, so what I did was I wanted to see the pattern and how it would cut out. So this will be the front of the the front of the hat, and I made a triangle, and now I'm just going to make a second triangle for the back. Alright, that will slide on the cone for the hat, but I want to make sure that this couple is in the front of the hat, so I'm going to pre-do this right now, because the rest of the material I will wrap with the cone of the base. But I need to figure out the hat first, because it does have a printed material. You can use a Dollar Tree pillowcase. There isn't any designs on it. You can cut accordingly or add to it. This will be the setting the hat material aside that I pre-cut out. Now I'm just using 2 fabric pieces, small, and I'm just going to go over this with hot glue and cover the point on this cone. Fold it under, glue it underneath it, just to cover it, and then I'm going to wrap material. Wrapping a cone with material is not easy. You can prime this and paint this as well. However, I just worked my way with a few pieces here and there and added hot glue and started from the top, worked my way down. Alright, the last piece is the strip, the longest length on that piece of fabric. And that is where I place around here. What I'm going to do, though, is weave it at the top. You don't have to do this. You can just place this final picture right here, or the final fabric right here, and make sure you just go around like this. Because remember, the beard's going to cover it, but just in case the beard separates and pops through, you can see a pattern under here and not the orange cone. I am going to frill it a little bit and make it ruffly. And by doing that, I just take a needle, some thread, and I weave the top of this to make a skirt. I'm definitely ready for a Valentine's Day tablecloth. Anyhow, cover that cone, patch it together. If you're using material, it doesn't have to be fancy. This is the first layer. Right? Don't worry about the inside of it. It's going to stand upright. It won't tip over unless it's knocked over really hard. It will hold the weight of the mop as well. Okay, so I have my little ruffle, and I'm just going to go around it right in this area and cover the bottom area of this cone and tie it in the back. That glue. I want to take this mop and find the center of it and spread it apart. Okay, this looks like it's the center. Now I just want to carefully place this over it for now, just to see what it looks like, how it falls. It's going to cover it up nicely. I would not use these Dollar Tree mops to mop any of my floors. There's too many fuzzies falling off and threading. Once these get wet, I wouldn't use them to mop my floor, and making more dirt, making more of a mess while using them. But anyhow, it's great for this DIY. I painted his shoes. I'm waiting for them to dry, and then I added a little bit of silver right here, just to highlight the light. Anyhow, while I'm waiting for that, I decided to get my earrings out for the day. You'll see me wearing these at the end of the video. Aren't they cute little troll earrings? They remind me of people who go to bingo and bring a troll doll. I've only been to bingo twice in my life, but I've seen them use the troll dolls. Once I went for a charity, so the winnings would go to a charity. And the second time I went with my grandmother years ago. And I always noticed these cute little dolls around the players. boy, I remember how serious they were doing bingo. I'm like, I thought you go to bingo to have fun and chit-chat, but you don't. You go to bingo to win. But anyhow, I'll be wearing these cute little earrings at the end of the video. Before I even attach the mop, the next step I'm going to do is place this in the foam, okay? Preset it. That way I'm not pushing down so hard on my project when I add the hat. Preset it on the top of this mop. When I seen this mop for the first time in the store, I was looking at it because I buy a lot of the feather dusters and it's in that section. I thought right away that this area right here is great to attach a head, a foam ball for a head to make an angel, or one of these cones to make a gnome. And sure enough, but it's just easier to pre-set your hole first, okay? Then you can add your fabric next. Since I am on day 2, here's your second tip for this video. I already showed you the first tip yesterday, and that was using the baby carriages for shoes. To keep your material from standing or from flopping, and you want it to stand upright, make your hat pointy, add to the inside of it a few pipe cleaners, and then you can bend and conform the hat the way you want it. You can stand it upright, you can bend it in all twisty right and left directions, but that will help you maneuver it. With this cone, I think I'm going to use 4. I need to find one more. And this will be inside so you won't see it. We'll trim the top at the end, but add these in the inside of your hat before you place it around the cone. That is your tip, your second tip. It's time to add the shoe. Oh, generous amounts of hot glue right here on the fabric. If you painted the cone and painted the shoe, then place the hot glue on the bottom of the shoe that you didn't paint. Don't paint the bottom, okay? Set the shoe right in this direction and hold it. Now, I add a little bit of hot glue underneath the shoe and on the tip. Let it set. That way the triangle's acting as a platform for the shoe. Okay? You use any kind of shoes you want. I have these cute little cowboy boots in my bathroom. I was looking at them and I was thinking, oh my gosh, they'd make excellent little cowboy boot shoes for my gnomes. But they're decorations in my bathroom right now. You never know, I might repurpose them for shoes. Alright. Allow them to set up and allow the glue to harden. And then you can place the dress down over the shoe. You know, I just came across these in my craft stash. was going to save them for like a Santa gnome for the next season for glasses. And I thought, I wonder if I could place these on this gnome. Would it look kind of silly? They're kind of big. I'm not sure. I might do that. So I had to get into my craft box and get some more glue sticks out, and I came across them. I'm like, might add them in. They are from a Dollar Tree, so we'll see. The next idea is now going to be the hair. And you split it. You split that mop in half. You will use a good adhesive bond for this. And that's fabric tack. Alright? Or hot glue if that's all you have. Fabric tack will be the best because it will attach plastic to plastic and you don't have anything covered up there like a piece of cardboard. You could put the cardboard on and then add this mop head, and then that will actually add an extra security if you want to. But I'm using fabric tack. It's my #1 glue I love to use. Alright, so we have the fabric tack. And I'm just trying to add pressure to hold it while it adheres to the cone. Fabric tack takes about 15 minutes to completely set up, but while it's setting up, it is sticky. It reminds me of bubble gum. So if you go to pull this apart, it's going to stick. It's going to want to keep attached to what you're pulling it away from. But if you allow pressure, you place all the air bubbles out of the connection. So you have these cute little shoes. The dress just falls right over the shoe a little bit. And then, of course, the hair is going to fall over the shoe. This would have been an excellent idea to dye purple. What do you think? But I dyed these and then I found the material at Walmart's. So I went shopping last night. When I came in at 10, these were dried. But I'd found that material at Walmart's last night. But it would be so cool to dye one of the mops purple if you were to use the Nightmare Before Christmas fat quarter from Walmart's. Or leave it white. Be cute. But that's alright. She will go to my daughter, and she's whimsical. And of course, I have the material over the cone, and that will be my next. Yep, I want to pre-display it before I add glue. So that's why it'll look. That's great. So then I'm going to take it off and add glue and then adhere it to the top of the mop. Alrighty. This is the important idea. Where do you connect the nose? Can you connect it right here, right underneath the black top of the gnome? Place it right on the black top of the gnome. I think it'd be best to adhere it right underneath it. Add the glue right here, add the glue right on the fabric, and then press. Besides, now that I'm going to add glasses, I think this will be better. Hold. As you notice, I'm laying her down on her back. I'm going to do this the whole time I'm trying to glue and attach the nose. And I might add a little glue around this fabric part and bring it in a little bit more too, but we'll see. We'll see what it looks like when I stand her up. Right now, this is where I attached it. And also, the brim, there's a little brim left that'll slide over the nose, and I can attach the glue right here as well and bring the fabric forward. But right now, that's where I attached it. And this is the way she looks laying flat on her back. She reminds me more of a witch. So here we go, folks. DIY Halloween. And I don't know why she reminds me of a witch. The second one, I'm going to use all Paris theme. Of course, that's our theme this year. And that will be the one I keep. This one's going to my daughter. And the nose is still adhering. I added a little bit of hot glue underneath the nose as well to attach it to the fabric below. And then with the pipe cleaners, you can twist your hat at the top. Now you may add a little bell, add a heart hanging, whatever you want to do. Okay, let's stand her upright. The glue's still drying. Wow. Or a wizard. See all different types of characters. Oh my goodness, but is it cute or what? Comment below. Alright, before I show you the second one, let's recap. On this one, going to Ariel. You can braid the hair if you want. I did add a little feather duster around the brim. Thinking about placing something right here just of yet. I might make her a little rosette flower with the leftover Nightmare Before Christmas material. Just so I can place it right here. Who would have thought that these shoes were the baby carriages from Dollar Tree? You could place little bells on the shoes. Alright, are you waiting for the second one? Let's pick her up and place her over here for now. And without further ado, here's my second one that I'm keeping. I did not paint the shoes. I did braid her hair. And what did I add to the body? Paris. Rosette trim, Paris, and loop-de-loop yarn for the collar to go under her hair. And up here I carried the rosettes around her hat. And then of course a little bit more of the fluff at the top, and that's where I placed the heart And she has an Eiffel Tower showing. Then I just use some loop-de-loop yarn for right here on the side. The nose is a pinkish hue. And once again, the shoes stayed pink. The bottom. Yes. There you go. I love that quarter sheet of fabric from from Walmart. So yes, I seen the pairs, I grabbed it. It's a good deal. And the feather dusters, it's just phenomenal to use as the brim of the hat. Seeing as how February here and Valentine's here is more winter-like for us here in Michigan, it suits the decor. Wow. Now, just remember, she's from the large traffic cone. See the video if you want to learn how to make the full-size towel. And I am going to switch this out into a heart. And here's the other one. And then, of course, second idea for the smaller traffic cone was this angel. This is all Dollar Tree except for the loop-de-loop yarn in the trim. Here's the second one. This is the fabric from the fairy skirts at Dollar Tree. This was made with the pillowcase from Dollar Tree. See that video. And then here we go, the third idea. Two options for you here with Basha's Coffee and Crafts on Legacy's Little Luxuries Arts and Crafts YouTube. Two options. Create, design the way you want, but start out with that traffic cone, the Dollar Tree mop head, and if you want shoes, the Dollar Tree baby carriages. And of course the feather dusters. I love the feather dusters. That's what I made the muffs with, the hand warmers for my dolls. And you know I like working with textures. There you have it. Final thoughts in just 1 minute. I decided to attach the glasses, but now I come across another challenge because I've never done this before. Now I don't want to keep the arms on them, but I do want to attach it so some of the arm is up inside the threading from the mop, so that way it sits this way, okay? Not back that far, but sits forward on the nose. So what am I going to do? I can't remove it here, and then I need some of the wiring, but I don't want it that long, so I'm going to have to cut it somewhere around in this area. And it looks like I'm going to have to find my clippers, my wire clippers, to do that. So let me head into my craft supply storage unit here on my left and see if I can. Okay, these are really hard to clip, though I was able to clip the ends. So what I'm deciding to do is maneuver them, bend them, and this is going up in the hat. Luckily I did not glue the hat down completely, just over the nose. So going to place it up into the hat. And then when I stand her straight up, something like that. A little bit forward, a little bit more sliding on her nose, because they are kind of like overly large to her face, so I want them to look like they're slipping. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Oh, there you go. Here's your shoes. Alrighty, folks, let's wrap this up. I have my son on the camera right now. I thank you, Christian, for holding the camera and recording the final footage of this DIY video. It's not very bright in the kitchen here, but here we go. 2 different designs created with Dollar Tree items and then frugal items I picked up from Walmart's and I already have in my craft stash. Please watch my other videos. Watch the video about how I make the angel out of the traffic cone and how I make the tall doll out of the Dollar Tree tall traffic cone. And remember all the little tips I gave you. If you are going to use any of the top tips that I give you, give me a shout out. I appreciate it. I appreciate the mutual respect. Because if I find any tips, I give the crafters I find a shout out in my videos. But so far, I haven't found anything in 2020 just yet. I'm coming up with the ideas on my own. Send my blessings out to you and your family from me and my family. And have another fun day crafting with Basha's Coffee and Crafts. Bye.